folks are born, made a wave the flag. Ooh, the red, white, and green. And when the band plays Kaiser hymn, ooh, they draft you for the war machine. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't Prince Ferdinand's son. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no aristocratic one, no.
Howdy there, folks. Tex of the Black Pants Legion, and welcome back to Austria-Hungary Does Its Best. There are a few things that have happened since, but we are now fighting the Japanese for the Philippines. This is insane. Now, one of the things that seems unfair in this game to most of you is the notion that a government will say, no more war, you lose after one naval battle. They'll do that. That happens in real life. That is this game's balancing save, but you can, oh god, don't ram into each other. Jesus, fuck, don't do, oh god damn it. Good job, guys. Good. Fantastic. But you can abuse that. Now, here's our micro dreadnoughts. The little guys. Not the best ships in the world, but certainly ships of the world. You'll find that we have a lot of fine vessels. The Ersatz class is, it's one of the ships of all time. It's a boat. It's made of boat stuff. Now, when it comes down to boat design, these pocket dreadnoughts are not terrible. They're adequate. At least for a tiny navy. They're not gonna be the most impressive thing in the world. And that's okay. A lot of people blow their whole budgets in this game on stuff that is, you know, way too big, way too flashy. They all want to build a Yamato. And you really don't need that. You don't need that at all. All you need is good enough. And these things are. I basically made Panzerschiff a bit early. And these things do have near global operations range at this early date. So, high five. Alright, there's a light cruiser. Maybe. We're not sure. Need to stay the fuck out of torpedo range, though. These things are not impervious to torps. Oh, hey. Some of the secondaries hit. Go gadget secondaries. Oh yes, there we go. Get fucked. He's like, no like. Alright, back to the heavy cruisers. We need to send these to the bottom. Need to let his government know that Austria-Hungary is here, and that the future of Japan is goulash. I'm gonna get some comments in Japanese that are probably not going to be very generous. Uh-oh. His boats are not shell-proof. Ooh, that's a good one. That's the good fire. That's the good smunk. Yep, that's the bad. Alright, he's coming back in. He wants some. However, I'm maintaining speed. Speed is my friend here. However, I'm gonna slow him down just a little bit so my guys actually get decent gunnery on them. There we go. There we go. There we go. His engines are failing. He's slowing down. My guys are getting better at correcting those deviations in range. Ooh! Oh, the fire! Oh, the fire! He gonna sink. Alright, well done us. The objective is I want some ports to make up for the ports I lost. I managed to take Maine away, and then they took Maine away from me with a land action, which I understand, that's America's backyard. And we're not going to deploy a 5 or 100,000 man army. 500,000 man, 100,000 man, 5 million man. We're not going to do that in Maine. It's not worth it. We can't hold on to that territory. So they lose. Or rather, my guys lose. But that's okay. That's how these things work. It's not the end of the world. Also, it looks like we're still a constitutional monarchy, but we've changed our look a little bit, and that's okay. Now, we are at war with Japan and China both, but China is largely becoming a non-state. Looks like China is not doing so well. We are going to send what remains of our Krappenboten over to the east because they hopefully will serve in some capacity. I'm hoping as oil gets discovered down here, we will start to have more resources. Right now, we're pretty strapped for resources. Our ships are very old as well. That is a sad, tragic truth, and that's okay. You don't have to have a modern navy. One of my favorite things to do in this game is to build battleships in 1890 and then see how long I can keep them in service. I kept a battleship from 1890 in service all the way till the 30s, when they would just get one hit clapped by things, which is funny. I kept upgrading them within reason. I did my best to keep them semi-reliable. Not fully reliable, of course, because that's not going to happen with such antiquated technology, but you can do your best. You can actually do quite a bit with very old ships. You just have to make some choice advancements. Sure, you're not going to be able to have the displacement. You're not going to be able to upgrade the engine to a certain point because the hulls are not designed for that speed, and if you put those engines in there that do allow 30 knots on a hull that was designed for 18 to 20, it's not going to handle very well. That's just a fact. So there are limitations, there are diminishing returns, and it's very expensive to continually refit them. Yes, it is cheaper after a point to just build more ships. But I don't care. Sometimes it's about just doing me things. Alright, I'm going to send the Krappenboten in, and I'm just going to hit autocalc because that's a small navy. I also hit autocalc sometimes because, yes, while it is very pleasing to the OCD to manually control every tiny little aspect of this game, I desire a bit of chaos. I desire a little bit of imperfection in my fleet deployments. I want some localized commander to make some errors that result in a Tsushima that I then, as the player, have to try to correct. Even if that loses me the campaign, it adds a little bit of realism. So I think that's kind of important. Alright, so Papua New Guinea has got some oil. Alright, there's the Soviet Union's admiral getting fired again. That happens. Portugal wants an ersatz battleship, and that's fine. We now control the Philippines, which is good. Now I'm going to continue. I'm going to show China that I wish to have the rest of their territory, and I'm going to send the rest of my cruisers to help, because all of this stuff will result in an enriched Austro-Hungarian Empire. And think of all the fun, interesting fusion food we could have. We could have Chinese, and if I am not mistaken, the Taiwanese food, especially a lot of their chicken dishes, come from the Hunan province of mainland China. So you got a lot of stuff with peppers and oil that I think would actually work well in goulash. You might get goulash that's spicy enough to make you sweat like a whore in church, which would be interesting. It would be like Austro-Hungarian chili, almost, so exciting. I know this sounds insane, and I know a lot of you guys are going to say, why are you going to war over food and spices? And I'll go, that's actually an Age of Sail thing. History of the Dutch East Indies Corporation and the British East Indies Corporation are largely fought over nonsense when you look at the grand scheme of things. The Spanish made a fortune out of cinnamon and other spices. The Dutch made a fortune out of tulips. Everyone is allowed to do bonkers things with navies. Most people don't blink. They just presume it's necessary and then turn a blind eye. So let's do, okay. Yeah, okay, Japan's been trying to surrender. The head of their admiralty got fired. I'm sinking the Chinese merchant fleet, such as it is. And America failed to gain control of Puerto Rico, looks like. That'll happen. I'm going to increase my relations as best I can with America because I cannot fight yet another war versus yet another great power. I need to make these people behave, and I need to do my best to maintain what sad fleet I have. Now, I think I am in position to take Formosa here, and that's what I want to do. I'm going to try to take this from China as best I can. China still controls eastern China and has been managing to defend it, and they also control the Liaodong Peninsula, which, you know, if you get up here in this bay, it looks like Goofy. See, like, there's the hat and there's the mouth, you know, just if you ever needed to find that. If you don't know where Port Arthur is, it's in the back of Goofy's neck. So, just as an FYI. You can learn all sorts of fun things by remembering their vague shape. You can find Iran quite easily because modern-day Iran looks like a Persian cat. And so you'd see the ears and the fluffy tail. It's very, very friendly. And the angry kitty, Afghanistan, is behind the Persian cat. So there's the fluffy kitty and then there's the angry kitty, and that's how you can remember these things. Alright, so it says I took some damage, which I think is bullshit, but I sank more of their fleet. Again, I just hit auto-calc because I wanted to have a little bit of chaos. Is this ridiculous considering how weak my navy is on paper? Absolutely. Absolutely. But guess what? I'm going to take Formosa, and then I'm going to use these barely adequate shipyards to repair as best I can, while my battleship fleet is in probably Manila getting overhauled. Well, now that that's done, Jesus fuck. Alright, so we're gonna run out of money here shortly, and I don't think they're gonna appropriate more. Oh, wow! A bunch of money just came in. I think it's because I finished building ships for people. That's good. That's good. So I'm going to wait as best I can. The Austro-Hungarian Empire has reached April of 1912 and now contains more territory than it ever did historically. So that's good. You know what? I will accept a peace agreement from Japan, but not China, because I want Formosa. I want more ports. I want enough ports to put those crap cruisers out here, and I want them to be my pal. Now, I need to go and make the United States not hate me, because I don't want to fight the US Navy in 1912. They actually have more than enough firepower to make my life a living hell, and I don't need that. I do not need that. This shit is not needed. Looks like I have a chance of taking Formosa from the Chinese, and I bet once I do that, they'll wise up. They'll just be like, okay, we're out. Looks like France has certainly consolidated from Fort Bayard all the way to Bangkok. They own Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam. They definitely own some of the islands and good ports in this region. So France is becoming very, very powerful. Looks like Japan has surrendered, and they're going to just pay me some more indemnities. This will allow me to build more dreadnoughts, which is what I need badly. I need more dreadnoughts very badly. I need them. Because I don't have them. So we're going to build 4 more of these. Actually, we're going to build 5. Every time I try to build something, I'm like, you're always short. And I'm like, right. Let's fix that. I still have some of my Heller class left over doing nothing, and that's fine. I'm going to build these in Ukraine. Ukraine actually has a long history of building ships. A lot of the Soviet larger surface combatants were all made in Ukraine, believe it or not. Okay, so we're going to build these. It's going to take 15 months, and it looks like I have about 10 months worth of money. So I need to force an outcome of this war one way or another so I can make even more money. And I may need to lose some of these crap cruisers in the interim just to save some. I'm hoping that my guys can beat the piss out of their navy frequently enough. That is my goal, but we shall see. Alright. Task Force attacks, and then, yeah, they got nothing. So, suck it. Their navy is largely non-existent, and the Soviet Union's been provoking me, which is their way of telling me that they need less ports. I can make that happen. The United States, however, I'm a little worried about. The United States actually has the big dick energy to come over and fuck my shit up. By 1912, the United States Navy has gone through several modernizations, and by the 20s, they start building, at least historically, your standard battleship plans, where they're working on fleet problems, and they're realizing the U.S. Navy needs to be a global navy, which is a generation and a half after the Great White Fleet circumnavigated the globe. That's the attempted statement of saying we can do stuff. The factual statement of we can do stuff is when you start working these fleet problems, when you start to say we need to be a navy that can patrol the commons. As well, my delivering of battleships has resulted in much gold. That is what I need. I need to maintain this. I've also kept my unrest low because the Austro-Hungarian Empire is least stable, really, than many other nations. And also, I would say it's about as stable as the pile of, plates in your sink. So let's go clean those. If you need to hit pause and go do that, please. That's how you get ants. Don't overlook that. Remember, an empty sink is a happy one. Remember to clean them on occasion. I can't speak enough of that. A lot of people never clean their sink. They go, I don't need to clean that. It has water in it every day. And I'm like, you have water in you every day and you clean yourself daily. Go clean your sink. Please go clean your sink. All right, let's see. Pula is doing all right. Odessa's coming along nicely. Some of these ports are maturing quite well. Let's look at our overall dockyard space. We are doing all right. I'm going to expand the dockyards again because, yes, we need larger dockyards. And soon I will have Formosa. Now, once I've taken Formosa, I may go up there and try to take Port Arthur. The Germans are taking everything else, and that is terrifying. I'm not going to try to take Shanghai and Hangzhou. Those are very nice ports. They're very big ports, but I do not have the firepower or manpower to take them. It would require a bajillion tons, and I don't think that's going to happen. However, Formosa is ours. Look at that. Look at that. Austro-Hungarian Formosa. And I can start to modernize. This fleet that's out here a little bit. I'm going to keep the other 20 cruisers. I'm going to keep those in Manila. Even though they probably won't fit. That's fine. And I'm going to take these 9 battleships, and I'm going to go out. What do they have left as a navy? Just a boat or two? Alright, I'm going to keep these 9 battleships over here. I'm going to keep my cruisers in the Pacific. They're older. Japan turned out to be kind of a paper dragon. China is definitely on the decline here. But I also have to worry about European navies that can now respond out here and be supported out here. That's a goddamn problem. That is a huge goddamn problem for me. These guys could come out swinging, and I would be in big doo-doo if they decided to do that. All right, let's see. I don't have any unrest, but I'm just going to say the government's right because I'm not going to topple the government. My job as the head of the Navy is to be the head of the Navy, not dictate government policy, though occasionally I will, as identified, just for reasons, go out of my way to inflame the passions of other nations. And that's okay. You're allowed to do that a little bit, right? I'm going to send these 100 and whatever torpedo boats up here into the bay, and I'm going to fuck them up. I'm going to keep fucking them up, and I'm going to remind them that their navy doesn't exist and mine does. So I'm gonna just sit off their harbors with my battleships and have myself a lunch. And if they can't deal with that, that's on them. We also need to go into politics and try to improve relations with the United States because France is already sizing me up. Italy's behaving. Spain might want a peace. The Soviet Union is souring, and I don't need it. I need these guys to go away. I need these guys to leave me alone. Looks like we're going to have a meeting engagement. However, I am now blockading China. I'm going to continue to blockade China until they croak. I am not going to accept a surrender until their government and my government both force me to. I'm going to just grind them to dirt because they decided to get in on this. And that's what happens. I'm going to sink the transport fleets. I'm going to sink their navy. I'm going to drive everything back to its ports. I'm just going to sit here and be like, you guys suck. And I'm going to read nasty, nasty letters to them. I'm going to read them on a megaphone. I'm going to be like, attention dicks, go away. And they're going to get very upset. They're going to think that I am not a nice guy. And that's fine. That's fine. Because guess what? Nations don't have friends. They have interests. And my interest right now is bullying them. Because I can. And I'm also going to try to overhaul my ship programs. I need more modern ships, and these ancient boats are very, very sad. If you put these boats in a room and a museum, you would say, when were these made? And if you said the 20th century, you'd get an F in that class. And these boats are from the age where phrenology was an up-and-coming science. I have near total blockade for power projection, so I think that they're just gonna collapse here in a turn or two. Now that's good for me. What's bad for me about this is they are going to lose, well, they're going to lose me my war income. All that government war income that I get is gonna go away because they're gonna say there are no more exigent threats against the realm, and thus I will not have money. And that is a problem. So, because I have an ancient fleet of cruisers, I have relatively new battleships. Relatively. And my goal at this point is to squeeze these guys for as much money as I can. So prolonging the war in this case is actually good for my shipbuilding plans. England is going Turbo England, which is alright with me. America is slowly lightening its mood compared to what it was. I'm slowly trying to get my tech budget back up to where it was, though I realize my overages are likely to be increasingly catastrophic, and they're not going to be well. Alright, let's see. Brazil is constructing ships, which is hilarious. That's hilarious. Let's see what else we get. I'm hoping to continue to increase my max shipyard size, and I'm hoping to make lots and lots of money off of increased exports, because after the age of my pocket dreadnoughts are done, I'm going to offer some more dreadnoughts to the world, and we'll see if Austria-Hungary can be a net exporter of war material throughout the tumultuous 20th century. I am slowly increasing the quality of my everything, but I'm quite fine with what I have for the moment. I have picric acid, and picric acid is good enough. Picric acid makes fire. And that's what we need, my friends. Lots and lots of fire. If I had to offer any input to this game, if I had to offer any input to the dev, if I could bend the dev's ear for any moment, I would say that the best that you can do is to keep doing what you're doing. However, I would like to see in this game where you start off with the Age of Ironclads. You start off with the HMS Warrior being, relatively new. You start off in the 1865 era. America has ended its Civil War and is on a reconstruction effort. And it is doing its best to slowly rebuild its forces and its ambitions in realizing manifest destiny. Japan is ending its war, well, will be by 1880-ish. You end up with the war of the Imperials versus the Shogunate. You end up with this whole thing going on in the Meiji Restoration. You end up with China going through the tail end of its last dynasty. You have Britain under Queen Victoria. You have a lot of interesting things. You have the era of Otto von Bismarck in Germany. I think that would be interesting to have to build ironclads and everything else. I would also like to see the option of playing minor powers. Greece. I would love to see you being able to play as Sweden. I would love to see you being able to play as Denmark. I would love to be able to see you play as Ottomans. Some of these empires become ascendant, some of these empires fight each other, some of these empires collapse during this timeline. I think these would all be exciting. An ultimate iteration of this game, though, would allow me, as the fleet commander, to dispatch fleets through my friends. So I could say, hey, here's a battle. I invite you to fight this battle for me, and I could have my friends taking control of multiple flotillas in a naval action. I could say, my friend, you are in charge of the torpedo boats. My friend, you are in charge of my battleship line. And so on and so forth. I want people to be able to join me in my ship posting. I believe that is really fun, to be able to share your dorky stuff with your friends. So I'm continuing to blockade them. Their economy is absolutely collapsing at this point, and I'm just going to wait here and make money while I do it. I'm just going to do my thing. They will not back down until I absolutely choke them out. So this is my best attempt to choke these guys out. I want this empire to never come back or ever bother me ever again. I want these guys to go away. Always go for the kill if you can. I know this runs typically counterproductive in terms of modern geopolitics. I know a lot of people are going to say, Tex, that's really the opposite of things. You want a swift resolution to a war, and then you want political concessions and alliances and understandings and all of these other things. And that's really Bismarckian foreign policy. I instead am going to just go with naval supremacy in the absolute autocrat monarch sense of it, which is, yes, I will have a senseless war against my opposition, and I will grind them to dirt, because that's what you do as an empire. I know that some people will say, Tex, that kills empires, and yes, it does, but this is fun, so that's what we're doing. Alright, the United States is not liking me as much, which is unfortunate. I'm going to try to make Britain like me, because if Britain likes me, I can make all sorts of fun friends. I can say, hey, Great Britain, your queen is alright. And they'll go, are you shitting with me? And I'll go, no, your queen is the coolest lady ever. And they'll say, Tex, it's 1913, Queen Victoria is dead, and we have now reached the Edwardian era. And I will say, ah, right, we don't really pay much attention to what's going on over there. And they'll be a little bit upset, but, you know, they'll go back to living their Jeeves and Wooster existence, and I'll just high-five everyone. But hey, I got some possessions in Asia, which is more than the Austro-Hungarian Empire ever achieved, so high-five us. The United States and China are fighting. It seems like they detect a way of being a honorable third party in this, I guess. I'm going to continue to improve relations with the United States, because I'm already at war with their enemy, which they just declared for no reason. They're just like, we want these guys dead. And I'm like, you already killed these guys. And they're like, well, I'm dead. And I'm like, all right, well, you can take Hangzhou and Shanghai and we can be neighbors. I'm just going to hang out on Formosa and, you know, enjoy what I got. However, I might want to look at what they require to actually take this last territory. I know it's not their last territory, but these are decent ports, and there is oil and other resources there. What I worry about is my land forces being forced to hold it, which I do not think is going to work. Oh man, the Soviet Union is upset. That's fine. However, I will point out that the Austro-Hungarian Empire is trying to take Kazakhstan, and it's marching through southern Russia to do so. Seems like the Russians don't like that as much, and that's fine. I don't care. Meanwhile, Britain is fighting an overland campaign through Tibet and Xinjiang, which is amazing. This is absolutely bonkers batshit amazing. So I'm just gonna laugh at that. Now let's go and see what it would take. Eastern China would take 185,000 tons. That is, okay, you know what? I think I have that. Because these 9 battleships, each one is 15,000 tons. That plus my crap cruisers might be enough, just barely. So let's see if we can pull it off. This might also be enough to force them to surrender. If it forces them to surrender, I will giggle. I will giggle very much, and I will then take my resources and try to fight a war against the Soviets. Because I want more of their territory, and my army in Europe, at least, is starting to get things done against all good reason. Against all good reason, they are doing really well. I'm going to say fight to the end and see what I can get by just absolutely crippling these dudes. Yep, looks like Spain is coming around on me, and Britain has got full control of Brunei, so Britain is definitely going hard. Alright, let's go ahead and take my boats, my very sad boats, and I'm going to move them, which is a reasonable radius of action, though I would worry about them coming through the South China Sea here. I think they would just sink. So we are going to move as best we can. I've got them blockaded near completely. I mean, they have that little island off Formosa, but that has almost no anchorage on it. Like, they could put a fishing boat there. There's not going to be anything big coming out of there unless they build maybe like 2 or 3 torpedo boats at a time. And that's fine as an idea. That's enough to cause some annoyances, but it's not going to be enough to end the war. Looks like the Chinese Navy's trying to rebuild. Their admiral just got fired, which means he probably tried to use more than $4 at this point, and they were like, you are so fired. Looks like we have a 49% chance to succeed here. I'm going to go ahead and move the rest of my torpedo boats in here just to throw in a modest amount of tonnage to help this naval invasion. If I can take out Eastern China, this will be legendary. Looks like my other few battleships have just finished completion against all common sense. So I think that we can say we have slowly restored our fortunes, or at least prevented them from declining completely. They just had another admiral get fired, and that's fine. Sinking more of their stuff, which is fine. Now let's go ahead and make sure that our hull strengthening and armor quality goes up, because I want to make sure that we get as best we can. We're going to probably overhaul these crap cruisers to have geared steam turbines and modern fire control, even though they are antiques. I don't care. Will it cost a fortune? Yes. Yes, it will. Will it be funny, though? Yes. Yes, it will. That's why you do things as a Navy. Half the things are serious, and the other half, my friends, are for the lulz. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to take Eastern China so we can take these deep water ports. However, in the attempting to do so, I feel that we can slowly strangle their capabilities of waging war ever again. And that is my aim. Now, they will be gobbled up by the great empires of Europe. Germany controls an alarming amount of China, and Britain controls the rest of it. Germany controls Manchuria. This is a heavily industrialized area, and, well, they control chunks of it. China still controls this part of Manchuria, but they control enough to be alarming. I think it would have been interesting to see the Koreans go north and or the Russians go south, but I don't know. The Austro-Hungarian army, meanwhile, is fighting an overland campaign through the Kazakhstan, and that sounds like they want to make wide Austro-Hungary, which is... Oh, their government collapsed. It looks like their government completely collapsed. All the flags dropped. So they are done. They are absolutely done. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. All right, China did push back Britain's offensive into Tibet, but China has been dissolved due to economic collapse. That is what I want to see. All right, so everyone else has said they no longer want to play with China because it is no longer a country. I'm going to move my boats, my battleship fleet, and everything else. I'm going to move them into harbors as best I can. And now I have to do severe austerity measures or start another war. So me being me, I am going to start another war. Let's see who wants a peace. Looks like most everyone has behaved except for Spain. So I'm going to increase tension with Spain. I'm going to say, Spain, I don't like you. They're going to go, what for? And I'll go, I'll figure something out. So I need to make sure that the rest of my fleet is more or less on blocks and is not being used as a fleet at all for any reason. I don't think it's for me. Meh. You know, that's how you say it. Meh. Not for me, right? It is 1914. We're starting to get into Habsburgs eat themselves territory. I know that they weren't all Habsburgs, but I generally make fun of most of European history. Historians have to shitpost. It's because history is too grim to take 1000% serious all of the time. It's something that people kind of overlook. They go, how dare you make fun of this, or how dare you make this simple? And I'm like, look, if you want me to well actually my way through history, you're going to have to wait for 85 hours for me to give all the preamble and all of the background and all the citations, and then make a point. So, for the sake of brevity, shitpost, which contains more or less the truth, but also a exaggerated version of that in the shitpost forum. All right, let's see. Austro-Hungarian Empire. We are continuing... Well, for one, I've given them an actual empire because they never really had that. They're the Imperium of Austro-Hungary because more or less... Wow, it took them till this long to figure out the Panama Canal. That's interesting. You find out more or less in the Imperium notion of things. An imperial state is, by at least older definition, the collection of many crowns. So you have bunches of little kingdoms all swearing fealty to an emperor that represents all of them. However, in the more modern sense, empire means this vast stretching thing of many peoples, many lands, many nations. So Austro-Hungary is Croatia, Bosnia-Herzegovina. Montenegro has opted out. However, Albania was brought into our sphere, as was Serbia, as is Hungary, as is Galicia, as is, of course, Austria. Bohemia-Moravia, of course. Eastern Poland? Yes, that's ours now. Belarus? No, they defended their own. Ukraine, however, is ours, as is Southern Russia, as is Georgia, and might be Kazakhstan. It looks like my guys are slowly starting to get there. We vastly outnumber the enemy, but that doesn't mean anything. Kazakhstan has a lot of natural resources, which we do want. We do want those natural resources. We desire them. We desire them for ourselves. So I need to move this torpedo boat all the way back. All right, you move. Let's get you in with the rest of your torpedo boat friends. And then we need to move the battleship fleet. You know what? I'm going to keep that over here, actually. I need those guys to be on tap, because if this territory comes up for sale, or whatever, I'm going to have it. I'm going to have it for myself. We are repairing 3 battleships, which were a little dinged up, and that's okay. They can get beat up a little bit, and as a treat. Battleships take a lot of beating in their lives. They are pretty much the ship of Theseus for the entire duration of their time in the water. Ships typically get repaired 800,000 times over the course of their lives, and they get really beat up. Let's see. Eastern North America. Holy shit, I still have a boat out there that's just been hanging around. They're probably like, that's the one they forgot to tell to go home. And I'm like, that's mean, but also true. All right, let's put these, no, not in being, limited. There we go, limited. And I'm just gonna go back and check on where he is. Oh yeah, you. All right, you are allowed to go over here and join the rest of this squadron. You'll be the last one moving for a bit. Now, I do have some ships in Odessa, isn't it? Yeah, I have 5 battleships there, and I still have 1 crap load of torpedo boats, 124 torpedo boats in the Mediterranean. I need to increase tension with the Spanish. The Soviets are on their tails, though. The Soviets have not enjoyed anything I've done in some time. They've been rather upset. However, if I get another war budget, oh my sweet Jesus, am I going to do nasty things to them. German Empire and Spanish Empire. Portugal wants a battleship, which is more than okay. Spanish Empire is not liking what I do, and that's okay. They can just not. I'm also going to increase tensions with the Soviet. Oh, wow. I'm about to go to war with Spain. There's no way around that. They're going to be very, very upset, and that's okay. It is okay. It says I am behind on technology because most of the ships I operate are now 30 years old. Those cruisers especially, those torpedo boats were built off of very terrible designs. The battleships are fairly modern. All right, let's see. Nope. War. The hell was Spain. I remember Maine, the state I held, not the ship. But, you know, wow, it's weird. I guess some battle cries are inevitable. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's move all these fuckers over here. I will move my other battleships. Where are they? There? The other 9 battleships? Yeah, you're coming to Europe. You're definitely coming to Europe. We're gonna beat the shit out of you. You wanna play a game? Let's play a game. Let us play a game. Now, let's get into our ship design and design an overhaul program for the 39 terrible cruisers I have. Now, I do also have the Habsburg, which it's a boat. All right? Let's just say that. It is a boat. It is saying, you cannot build these. It's obsolete. And I'm like, I don't care. Time for another refit. It's like, please just let me die. No, it's time for your refit again. Please, you already put turbines in this thing. Yes, I know. Yes, indeed. More refits. They're like, no. Why? Why do you keep cutting this thing apart and putting more in it? And I'm like, because I can. Yep, alright, and it's got advanced rangefinders, and it's got depth charges now. Some people are just gonna scream, why does this boat exist? And I'm gonna say, it doesn't matter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put smaller guns on this throughout, because look at how many 6-inch guns I can get on it now. Is this perfect? No. This is certainly downgraded in many ways over what it originally was. But the rate of fire is going to make up all the goddamn difference, and I could probably squeeze a little more engine out of it. Alright, I could probably replace the funnel and the towers and get a lot more out of it in every way. And that is going to be important. Alright, probably not. Probably not substantial gains here. But that's okay. That's okay. The boat doesn't have to be perfect. The pitch is now worse than ever. You know. I did what I did for the sake of the Habsburgs. That's who I'm going to blame it on. I'm going to say the Habsburgs made me do it. Right? It's okay to blame them. It's okay. Punching bag of Europe. No one's gonna complain. Well, someone might. But look, hey, it can do 21 knots now. Slowly making the boat better. High five us. That's the sound of the solo high five in the dark, which is sad. But we're going to move on. with boat. Boat from the makers of ship. And shit. Mostly that one. But don't worry about it. Navies run on lies. And boat has now been around for a long time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to refit 5 of boat at a time. And I'm going to say, 4 months. 4 months to refit all them boat. That's more than enough. It's more than enough. And Habsburg? Oh, man. Let's check out in the fleet where you are. Class. There's the okay, Habsburg is in. It is at sea, steaming around. Oh, man. If Habsburg survives this war, it's getting a refit. Someone's going to say, why? And I'm going to say, because I can. That's what you do with your crap boats, is you give them a second, third, if not 10th life. And you wait as somebody, takes their son down to the dock and goes, you're gonna serve in the Navy just like Granddad. And he gets on the boat that Granddad lost his arm or eye on. And Granddad frowns, recognizing the shape of that rust bucket, and goes, they're still in service? Oh, yes, of course they are. All right, time to cripple Spain. And watch my ass, because I could very easily get into trouble here. I need to make sure the Soviet Union doesn't get too sour on me. I need to continue. Oh, God, yeah, America's getting mad. Boy, they probably had designs on Spain themselves, and they're probably just a bit upset. They're just like, that was ours. And I'm like, no, we're all friends. We're all friends here. Everything's okay. Everything is okay. Why are you upset? Are you upset that I'm refitting boats? And they're going, yes. And I'm like, why? They're boat-shaped. They are boat-shaped, friend-shaped boats, right? They are friend-shaped boats. They go do boat things. The game is saying I'm behind on technology, despite me doing pretty okay. I did have to dip my technology low, unfortunately, mainly because I had myself a bit of a war, as you guys may remember. However, let's go ahead and cripple as much of their fleet as possible, and let's do our business best we can. So I need to prevent them from getting into the Mediterranean by any circumstance whatsoever, so I'm going to go and park to the west of Gibraltar here with all 124 torpedo boats. Now, this is my cruiser going the way it goes. The battleship squadron is going to take a while. And that's okay. I now need to invade Spain. I am looking at what's probably going to be required. Eastern Spain ain't going to be easy. I should have taken Mallorca, but the Brits beat me to it. God damn it. So, it looks like the Spanish fleet is coming around, and they are trying to get at me. So those torpedo boats are going to probably beat the shit out of them. Their other option is, without refueling ports whatsoever, they will have to go all the way around Africa to come at me that way. They have no holdings over here whatsoever that they can draw on, and their Caribbean holdings are also similarly gone or independent. They have nothing to draw on but Spain. Meaning, if I put my torpedo boats here, and I act like an aggressive bastard with them, I can prevent them from getting to my battleships, meaning my battleships can then work their magic. And by magic, I mean war crimes. I am going to take the Spanish state. The Austro-Hungarian Empire will be the bookends of Europe. However, I have to keep America out of this fight as best I can, because America did send a lot of forces last time, and while I was fairly confident I could have won that war, it did not give me the option. Okay, so Brits and Spain are fighting, which is interesting. That doesn't mean shit to me. Chile is getting in on that Dreadnought race, and they're buying from me this time, which is cool for me. Probably not for the rest of the world, but fuck them. Starting to get into 14-inch guns, which is nice. The British Empire standard for the longest time was 13.5-inch guns, so keep that in mind. It's going to be 1 month till the refits are done, and then I will have positive money, barely, but my finances are going to scrape the bottom, so I'm going to need to adjust this just a little bit, and some people are going to scream. It's okay. My Navy is crap. I know it's crap, but it's a Navy. I probably also won't be able to build bigger shipyards for a bit. I'm going to need to save that money. I'm going to need to save that money like crazy. I'm going to need to save that money a lot. Oh boy, Britain wants money. No. I'm not going to give you money, England. You can fuck off. How's that? That didn't make them that upset, really. I'm going to try to improve relations with the United States. France and Germany, ambivalent, don't care that much. Fine with that. 124 torpedo boats. I'm just going to sit off Gibraltar and be like, come at me, bro. If you want into the Med, you get past all these guys and we can talk. However, here goes... Oh, my battleships will be here relatively soon. Boy, this is going to be a little bit tricksy. So let's lower this down to 77%. Oof, we are really getting there. This is going to be a challenge. That's okay. That's okay. It is more than okay for these challenges to exist. Ah, boy. All right, so we do have our Whittle Bitty Dreadnoughts, which are not full-size Dreadnoughts, but good enough. I am now going to just harass their shipping. United States thinks I'm all right. Italy's getting a little Italy was almost a great power. Not saying Rome wasn't, but I'm saying in the modern world, Italy was almost a great power, but never quite reached great power status. Just didn't. Fell behind in the whole colonization game, fell behind in naval building, fell behind in a lot of ways. And that's okay. That is more than okay. That happens. See, sooner or later, people start getting an idea, and if you're late to the idea, you lose. It's nothing against you, it's just times change. Alright, looks like we've gone positive again on monthly balance. That means I need to continue to refit boat. I'm only going to do 5 at a time because of cost. These things are not cheap. And, or at least not cheap to refit. Okay, so it looks like his fleets, he does have some fleets. He has a battleship fleet there, and that's a little bit alarming. My battleships are about to come out, which means with overwhelming battleship, I will only have to overcome any fleet that exists in Valencia or Barcelona, plus anything they can bring through the Suez, which I can split my torpedo boat fleets like 60 and 60, and have them camp out in both places. They will take catastrophic losses trying to stop a navy, but they will also inflict catastrophic damage, and that is what I want. So far, I'm just attacking their transports and causing them to, you know, be problematic. I'm also watching the situation over here with great interest. I want to see how that works out. Looks like he did... Oh, he's leaving. He is sending a navy to leave, and he slipped past my battleships, which is interesting. Not sure where he's intending to go, but I'll let him go. His navy is not going to do very well without taking the war to me, and he is going to have very, very, very limited time to do so, because I'm going to start trying to land and take his territory. This is going to be bad news for him. He needs to act. He needs to act decisively and swiftly in order to prevent me from stealing his territory, which I aim to try. I know my army is not the best in the world, but I will land enough of them to cause him some serious consternation. However, America is continuing to belt out battleships and is seeming to not care about the affairs of Europe, thus far at least. Which means America is probably going to enter this war, is probably going to swing for the fences, and is probably going to do bad people things, at least from my perspective. So, I need to be prepared for that. I need to also watch the political situation. Looks like America is getting rid of its battleships from the 1890s. Interesting. Oh man. Yep, the French naval admiral has just been fired, which happens alarmingly regularly in most navies. The United States is trying to do this whole Monroe Doctrine with a bayonet thing. Alright, let's invade Spain. Let's just go ahead and say, give me southern Spain. Gimme. Gimme. I want it. I think I can take it. I have boats, and my boats have guns. And my navy's trying to take Kazakhstan, or my army's trying to take Kazakhstan right now, which is, boy, is that interesting. It looks like, let's see, they're advancing. They're actually managing to pull it off, which, why? Okay. I'm willing to bet that this triggers a war with the Soviet Union. They probably don't like me doing this. Uh-oh, time to burn. Advanced structural steel. Ah, yes, obsolete hulls. It says the small dreadnought is obsolete, which means I can't really do much with it anymore. But I can actually use that design and refit it. So I'm going to keep it around. I'm going to keep it around. And the Habsburg. Habsburg is also going to be kept around for a bit. Okay, it looks like they say I have a 0% chance of pulling this off. And that's fine, because I will move all my torpedo boat guys over here to add that tiny bit of tonnage apparently I need. It says that my massive amount of tonnage is insufficient, and that's okay. By moving all of my boats into this pile, I'm effectively forcing them to come fight me. I'm invading their homeland. Ah yes, they just finished overhauling my cruisers. And if worst comes to worst, I can then send all of these cruisers over to Europe and use them as a secondary force. I'd rather not. They're not great. They're not fast. They're not reliable. But they're good enough. They're good enough to eat a lot of shells and torpedoes, which means in a combined action, I could use them as a very lazy first wave and slowly float over to the enemy. And as they fill those things with shells and torpedoes, the battleships can sit behind them and just start ranging them and beating the shit out of them, which is pretty good. All right, let's see. We have barely enough tonnage, and it gives me 1 in 3 chance. A 1 in 3. So, that's fine. Looks like that has drawn their fleet back because they're like, wait a second, I live there. Which is true, they do. I'm just hoping that they understand that this is going to be a losing game. And I'm not getting rid of Boat. Boat is a good ship. I'm going to do 7 this time. They said it's going to take 4 months. They lie. It's going to take... Oh, they're right. 4 months. Okay, they're not lying this time. It keeps saying that I'm behind on tech because I have so many boats that were a big hit when mutton chops first came out. Alright, looks like we finally have a meeting engagement of the navies. Now is an opportunity to cause some trouble. I am hoping to wipe the floor with them so that I get all the more advantage in any successive negotiation. I also need bigger ships. There is no way around that right now. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm slowly learning better naval technology. I'm slowly trying to tend to the affairs of this global empire, which is going to fall under increasingly considerable weight because we're now incorporating parts of other nations. Like Kazakhstan and Russia. So this is going to be a very, very, very interesting empire, to say the least. The Austro-Hungarian Empire had a lot of languages and a lot of cultures in it. This is just going to make it a lot more weird, which it always was. It always was a weird empire. Strange man of Europe. But I'm keeping it together. Let's see if I can make it past 1918. Please. Alright, looks like we're going to wipe out more transports. Excellent. And we get, finally, a fleet battle. So I can see what kind of ships they have, which is important. I need to test those waters, no pun intended. And see what kind of navy they've built. Alright, boys. Here we go. The battleship that everyone says is obsolete and too small to fight. Alright, boys, do some maneuvering, but don't hit each other. Never mind, just do whatever you do. I'm not gonna look. Yep, that's the sound of progress. Please stop it. Please, please, please. Ooh, why? Oh my god. Alright. Good enough. Now the only thing they could do is probably run from me, but that might be hard because I can do 21 knots and sustain it. So unless they build something that can do like 20, 25 in this time period, they're not going to do well. Stand by, boys. Let's go HE. We're going to go ahead and just keep steaming into them. Yeah, do HE and fire as recklessly as you can. Ah, smoke. Ah, yes. Bong. Stuff bouncing off them. They may not be perfect, but they are overbuilt as shit, and that's what I want. Alright, this guy gets it next. Fill the area with lead, Fritz. Oh, man. I guarantee you, yep, torps. We know how allergic these things are to torpedoes. I'll stop. Ah, damn it. Alright. Half speed then. He lost a light cruiser for his efforts. Yeah, the next overhaul of these things is definitely more anti-torpedo measures. Dud. Oh, that's bad for him. Alright, let's go abreast and go right at him. Oh, that looks angry. That poor man. Converge the dots. They're all trying real hard. This guy's probably gonna launch torps on some of the formation. Oh no, he already tried. He may have had a chance to reload, I'm not sure. Boy, is he getting close. He's running right through the formation. We may have hit ourselves a little bit. He presumes I won't fire into my own formation. He is sadly mistaken. Oh yeah, there we go. Man, that's a bad torpedo shot. My guys are literally splitting formation. He can't hit anybody. Yep. Sorry your navy is sad and small. But, I'm gonna keep doing this naval invasion thing. And I'm going to prevent them, hopefully, from bringing any forces to stop the invasion. That is one of the catastrophic things that can happen, is they can break up my invasion, which is if someone's trying to invade you in this game, you don't have to defeat their navy. All you have to do is stop them from successfully conducting the landing. Get in there and break up enough ships that they no longer have sufficient tonnage to safely support the landing. You can take their 100% chance of success and move it down to 1 in 6. Just by beating up enough ships. You don't even have to sink them. Just damage the shit out of them so they have to send them home. Then you laugh. You just go, ha ha, I have hurt your feelings and I will continue to do so. And they will cry. They will cry big fat tears because you have removed from them their strategic projection power. It's not about winning so much as making sure that they lose. Alright, so, war erupted between Britain and the Empire of Japan, none of my business. Continuing to sink their ships, and 32% chance. Not perfect, but not terrible. Need to also take a look at, I'm going to improve my relations with the US, because I need all of the nations of Europe to think that I'm a pretty okay guy. I want them to think that I'm alright. I want them to know that I'm 3 out of 5, right? Alright, let's take boat, and let's refit the next 7. Boat. It's not a great ship, but it is a ship. That's what it would say on the export, placard. It's a ship. It's made out of boat. It contains a vessel. It's not a parade float, it's a boat. They're gonna say, what? I'm gonna say, don't worry about it. Just shut up. How's that? Shut mouth. Alright, what are we gonna do next? Well, what we're probably gonna do next is see if this invasion succeeds or fails. Their navy is nowhere near here. It doesn't look like they're willing to bring it out to play, which is reasonable. However, the next thing I need to do is once I've refit all of boat, I'm going to need to design a new generation of dreadnoughts. I'm going to have to start moving into the super dreadnought thing, which is very important. The super dreadnought thing is catastrophically important. You need to build bigger boat. And we're getting to the point where I'm going to also need to continue expanding my shipyard. My tech budget is behind. This happens when you try to run a navy like I have. But we are almost done with boat. We are almost done with boat. So let's all clap. Boat. All of us. Let's all have one clap, okay? Boat is boat. We're going to send boat in and do boat damage to the people. And they're going to say, that is the worst navy I've ever seen. I'm saying, but it's still afloat, so it's a boat. They've just fired the head of their admiralty again. And that's fine. They're losing everything, which is great. Ottoman Empire and the Soviets are buddying up, which is not so great, because that means that there's going to be no restriction on the Bosphorus, so the Soviets could just do whatever they wanted, which is probably not good for me or anyone else. Okay, so 2 to 4 months to rebuild the rest of that crap, which is fine. That should take my naval budget to the brink. But I am proving that I have a navy. Some people say, Tex, that's not proof of anything. I'll say, yeah, it is. All right, let's see. Nope, I'll take a little unrest. Oh, hell yes. Here comes their navy. And they have to fight the torpedo boat swarm. Finally! The time has come. The Krappenbotens, the little sad boys, the Scheisskraft, the Kriegslatrine, however you want to call these things, they're going out to fight. And yeah, most of them will explode, and most of their torpedoes will also explode well short of the target. The gyros won't work. They're going to just detonate, bonk off holes. They're going to run around like a bunch of sheep on Demerol. But guess what? They're gonna hurt people in the meantime. Yes, I could lose this whole fleet, but I could prevent the enemy from having a navy. And if I beat them soundly enough, they may surrender. Now, will I probably succeed in the invasion? No. No, I'm probably going to lose enough tonnage in this to make my invasion chances nil, and I will fail. But I live for the challenge regardless. That's what we do with our navies. Remember, ships are safe in harbor, but that's not what they're for. 124 torpedo boats versus Navy. All right, boys, get your popcorn. This is a fishing trawler attack. All right, I have to slowly try to combine all these into a mob. A little bit. There we go. That's starting to work. That's starting to work. That's starting to work. That's starting to work. Here we go. 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 Yeah. Giant mob. Okay, Division 1, 70 boats. Division 2 is gonna be the remainder. Oh, wow, I just overlaid those and fucked them up. Whatever. Big pile. Big pile, go. Are we ready for big pile, go? I think we are. All right. Oh, God, the frames. Okay. It says the enemy's been spotted to the north. I don't think there's any way that we could ever hope to not run into them with this number of vessels. So let's just go, boys. Oh my God, these things are terrible. Okay, so seaworthiness. I'm gonna give this thing a D-. It rocks like a rocking chair in 6 axes. As you can see, it heels over a lot. The deck goes awash quite frequently. These lifeboats or launches would probably leave every time we went over. This thing is a bath toy. It is not, oh, good Christ. Yeah, I think the only safe spot on this, like, you'd have gun crews getting swept overboard. Those inlet funnels on the rear deck are just gonna fill with water. These are bad boats. You can see the exaggerated movements of it in time dilation, but oh my God, look at it. The rest of them are banging against each other, and that's fine. We are gonna close at damn near 30 knots. Good old dumb boats. Oh my, the horizon is these things. They're gonna just see one of these and sink it, and goes that it? And then they're gonna see 2 of them and sink those, and then they're gonna see 5, and they're gonna try to sink those, and then 20 show up, and they're gonna go, what is this? And I'm like, it's an enormous V. It's gonna be like Space Invaders as a naval doctrine. All right, here we go. Yep. All right, oh, we have contact. We have found the enemy. Whoa, God. You know, turning it. It's like washing the wings of the bridge. Why did I even give them guns? All right, looks like we have a 10-kilometer run to the target. This is gonna end badly. If I was the enemy navy, I would be forming up right now and trying to steam away to maintain range while shooting at these things. If I was the enemy navy. Alright, shells coming in. You can't hurt me. Well, you can, but you can't hurt all of us. Well, you can, but shut up. Alright, here we go. Enemy formation is now turning. We're going in, boys. Oh, they are very upset. Also, I can see what kind of battleships they've built. I'm telling my boys to shoot those torpedoes as aggressively as possible. So far, so good. We're returning fire very haphazardly. Looks like the enemy is having some bad maneuvering. Okay, torps out. The first ship has completed its objective. Launch torpedoes. Oh no! Alright, it has completed its second objective, which is leave my naval budget. Alright, next boat. Alright. That's a hit. Alright, so it looks like they've built fairly decent battleships. 12.3-inch main guns, 10-inch secondaries, 9-inch tertiaries, and yeah, it just goes down the list. 10, 9, 7, 3, 3, 1, and torpedoes. So the rest of the squadron is all the way back here because they did do a little bit of jumble fuck when it came down to maneuvering, which is not that smart. But now that the enemy has been set on fire just a little bit, they realize that, one, this whole fleet carries nothing but assloads of HE. And while HE may not be enough to sink these battleships, especially in tiny gun mounts, it is more than enough to cause significant problems with aiming. Because I'm going to backlight these guys. Alright, we're gonna try to launch into this battleship squadron while the rest of their battleships all try to figure out how to get away from me. Now these little boats only have a crew of 18 dudes each. I can lose this whole fleet no problem. So far, one major casualty, which is the lead boat that was way out of formation. That's okay. I've launched torpedoes from the second boat. He has accomplished his primary objective. His secondary objective is leave my budget. Secondary objective accomplished. Okay, first hit was a dud. Let's see if this guy can launch torps before... Nope, he did not. He failed his primary objective. We are 3 boats down. Looks like his battleship in the back did take a horrific hit. These things do not have a lot of watertight compartments. So he did make some sacrifices. It looks like a good launch on my next boat. Their navy is turning to leave. Probably because they see that coming at them and realize this is a whole horizon of no thank you. Oh, those are going in nice. That's a dud. Both duds. It's okay. There are more torpedo boats. Attention torpedo squadron. You may fire at will as recklessly as you like. Let's form up in one big conga line of doom. Now, these guys are pecking at them and occasionally taking people off the deck. These guys have also... The enemy is running out of fuel because they didn't have enough to maneuver, and they probably had to go all the way around Africa. Alright, come on, boys. We got more torps in the water, and we're launching them all through this formation. So, as much as these guys dip, dodge, and dive, there's every chance that these torps will continue to intersect with their fleet. This is going to be fantastic. So he's dodged a few. This cruiser is about to turn into 2 torps that were originally launched on that battleship there. So, let's slow time down a little bit. Oh, he avoided those. And that's fine. Alright, they lost that guy. That's okay. Continue to fire torpedoes, boys. We're continuing to fight. Our guys are launching torps all through this formation, and they're long-running enough at this point in time to cause a lot of problems. Only the occasional torp has to hit them. Yep, there we go. That'll slow him down. The other battleship's trying to leave, but he's half full of water now, and his numerous secondaries are not helping. We've lost about 10 ships so far. This is acceptable. Alright, he's down. Now the enemy is probably going to try to retort with their own torpedoes. This is not going to work well for them, because their torpedoes are going to be insufficient and very hard to hit little torpedo boats. However, their gunnery is very good. I'm going to point that out here and now. Their gunnery is very good. Also, my guys are starting to run out of fuel. So while these guys are running at much slower speeds, so are my guys now. They're running out of gas, which means we're topping out at 19 knots. They're probably topping out at 10. However, that battleship can only do... what is he capable of? 50 knots, so he's probably topping out at about 8. Our rate of closure is therefore going to be much smaller, meaning their chances of hitting me are going to go way up. We're going to have to do our best. And the torpedo boats are going to come into range all day. His battleships are going to continue to maneuver like crazy and swing for the fences because they have no option. They are terrified right now. Oh my god, this game is dying under this many ships. It's okay. It's okay. Dev, if you're watching, please don't take my test of your game as something you need to fix. This is just funny. Alright, a lot of dud torpedoes from me so far, which is believable. It's more than believable. However, I'm starting to get closer and closer into their fleet. And they're not liking this so much. My guys are launching torps every which way as they come closer and closer into range. And even if they don't hit the primary, they are likely, very likely, going to start hitting other ships in there. And that's more than enough. They're also going to start catching on fire. That's another torpedo hit. That might sink him. Because that is right in the rudder bits. Those drive shaft seals are not very sturdy. You'll find flooding from them quite common, even in non-combat situations. He is now taking on many, many thousands of tons of water, and he is going, uh-oh. Now, I'm having the occasional uh-oh myself because the picric acid on board got Mr. Fire in there, and that's just burning things down. Oh man, they are really beating the shit out of these guys at a certain threshold, so I'm gonna turn in here and modify the fleet maneuvers a little bit and make things a little more difficult. If I was the enemy fleet commander, I'd be moving these heavy cruisers and light cruisers to interdict, like these two guys over here, because their gunnery, especially if you give them some time to shoot, would be more than enough to clap these dudes. These guys are slowly getting whittled down by increasingly hostile torpedo boat action. All I have to do is sink a few of these battleships and I win. Each of these battleships has 1,000, 1,300 guys on it. Each of my torpedo boats has 18 guys on it. Do the math, and you'll realize I can lose these all day. He cannot. Oh yes, and I have a lot of long-running torpedoes now shooting into this formation. And he's gonna be like, no, please God, why? Also, his rudder is jammed, and it looks like he's about to take one in the poop chute, which is not so great. That's it done. That happens. Now, if I didn't have a low fuel, I would probably be able to do a lot more damage to this guy, and that's fine. That is more than fine. I'm hearing them occasionally bonk my guys back here, but I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer and closer with the conga line of doom. Come on, boys. You can do it. Their other battleship is turned around and is not doing as well. He seems to have corrected some of his engine defects, but he is full of water. Alright, more torps in the water. More torps in the water. That's what we're doing good here. Okay, if these connect, this is potentially very bad for him. That may be a miss. He may have sailed right between them. Oh, what a lucky boy. Come on, Austria-Hungary. I know you can do this. Oh, he took another one. That's a bad flood. He's gonna get slower and slower. I've lost about a third of my, not a third, a quarter of my fleet, more or less, so far. That's fine, because he is potentially gonna lose many times that number with one of these ships. Yep, that is not looking good. It's enough water in the keel to rip it out of the ship as the rest of it tries to float. And he is done. All right. Next up, Bensound. Let's sink him. Actually, one second. Let me correct this here. I'm going to tell my guys who are in line to just launch all the torps known to man at these guys, because they're doing what they should be doing, which is pacing my fleet. That being said, If these connect, that'll be the end of it. Yup. Alright. Him next. Because he's doing point blank bad versus my boys. And here goes the end of him. He came in just to use his secondaries gratuitously, and well... Yep, there you go. To the bottom. Okay, where were we? Ah yes, the battleship. Sink it. See, if he had moved his cruisers down my line while I was trying to get in position to actually sink these battleships, he would have accomplished a lot more. Remember, these things' primary objective, release one load of torpedoes and then get off my budget. In order. Uh-oh. This guy has stopped in the wrong place. Time to sink you the old-fashioned way. Ah! Damn you! Alright, my guys are gonna just start releasing hordes of torpedoes as soon as they come in range. He's got a lot of secondaries, or smaller guns on his torpedo boats. Yeah, a lot of quick-firing little dudes. That being said, he's also made out of plywood. While he can dish it out, that doesn't mean he can take it. As you can see, my guys have been releasing torps. Now, these are definitely really long angle. And we're starting to set this guy on fire because he can't go anywhere on account of his engine space being totally crapped up with salt water. And that's fine. His cruisers are starting to release all sorts of torps and stuff at me. I don't care. That's a dud. All we have to do is hit him a few times. There we go. A little bit of fire and flooding. Just to make his life fun. Looks like some of the torps I released may come back to haunt me, but that's just funny. I don't mind. Yeah, he's dodging torps that we launched from way out there. He's sinking. Good, good, good. Now all I've got to do is eat this battleship here. And we should be, happy. This guy's like, why? And I'm like, well, it's funny. He's slowly trying to effect a turn, I believe. However, with torps being launched at maximum range, this is a bad place to be. Now, my boats are continuing to sink in terrible fashion, as he burns from 10,000 little HE shells flying at him. He's like, why? Why has this happened to me? We are the Royal Spanish Navy. We are magnificent. And I'm like, not today. Alright, we may run into some of our own torps, but that's part of my fun here. Because it was a dud. Good enough. Oh, another torpedo hit. 2 more torpedo hits. The conga line of doom. He's like, why? Why has this happened to me? Because you mocked the Austro-Hungarian Empire. We mock ourselves, but you're not allowed to mock us. That's the rule. He's like, I have the regrets. And I'm like, yes. Oh, as my guys come by and just do their thing. He's like, why has this happened? My guys are reloading their torpedo tubes, but we still have torps coming in. We're just gonna keep pecking at him with HE. And he's like, this is very bad. And I'm like, I agree. This is, as the Italians say, molto male. Which means the same thing. I'm gonna now turn my boats around and, just hope that the conga line works out. Their last light cruiser is going to have to bring tale of this to the throne. And they're going to say, what happened? And I'll say, you know, yeah, torpedo boat apocalypse. They're gonna say, why? Why did this happen? And I'll say, torpedo boat apocalypse. That's why this happened. They're like, this is unfair. And I'm like, I agree. I agree. This is called economies of scale. Oh, man. Yeah, he's gonna probably run out of ammo before I run out of boats. He also has very poor angles against my guys at point-blank range. My guys just keep cruising by because they're cool dudes. Ram him a little. Let him know we're thinking of him. There you go. Give him some of that. Oh, he's gonna sink my guy with ramming, but he's also taking on a lot more water from that. That's not so good. That's hurting your boat, sir. Sir, your boat. You can see my ship on the little damage diagram going under his ship. Yeah, yep, there he goes. You lose. Alright, let's continue our absolute pillaring of the enemy. Onward, boys! I detect a new victim. I'm gonna say you guys should probably just use normal torpedo behavior because you're really crap at aiming them. Because I have not trained you well. We've just like skipped every other day in training just to save money. So people are like, well, are we gonna cover firefighting on board? And I'm like, that's tomorrow. And they're like, but tomorrow's an off day. And I'm like, you could read the book if you want. We bought it from someone else. Is he gonna leave? He's gonna try. He's like, please don't beat me up. And I'm like, I gotta. That's the rule. Looks like he's dodging torps out there. He's throwing a few of his own. His torps are very, very fast. But he's having no more luck than I am, it seems. And I'm starting to pelt him with thousands of little rounds, which are just going to get more intense as I get in, because each of these guys has some experience with guns at this point. Oh yeah, he's just juking and jiving. He's not liking it. Oh man. Boat. He's like, please, no. I'm like, please, yes. We're going to take your cruiser from you. I'm probably going to get the other one as well. That ship has been damaged right there for a long time, and he has managed to survive. So that guy just gets to watch this battle unfold, which is pretty neat. Yeah. Alright, he knocked the engine out on that one. He's like, I'm gonna lay smoke. That'll stop me. Yeah, I'm like, no, it won't. Because we're just gonna start getting closer and closer. I mean, look, he can do 17 knots. I can do 19 even with very low fuel. I'm gonna tell my guys to floor it. Because he's got low fuel as well. So he's probably running at half speed. Oh yes, shoot my boat. Go ahead. Remove them from the budget. See, sooner or later, the boats that get up to the front are going to have torps again. Then he's going to be in trouble. He's going to go, but why? And I'm going to go, because. He's going to run out of torpedoes. He's going to run out of shells. He's going to be like, but why? And I'll be like, because. Austro-Hungarian Navy. Numbers matter. Yep, keep sinking them. My Navy gets cheaper to operate every time you do it. Yep, keep launching torpedoes. It won't help. I'm gonna keep starting little fires and burning your ships up. Sooner or later those fires will spread, they'll hit a magazine, you will not be able to contain them. Meanwhile, my ships are just gonna explode like watermelons dropped off a building, and that's fine, because these have no armor. They're like, please leave us alone. No. The Austro-Hungarian Navy stretches to the horizon. This is the Space Invaders method. They're like, please stop bullying me. No. No, I won't. I don't think I will. Oh no, and a lot of these boats, starting to run into people with torps again. There's a few gaps where I believe these guys fired at that battleship and cruiser back there. So that's fine. We're just gonna chase this fleet down. Alright. He's launching torps at dying boats. That's very tragic. I wouldn't do that. Yep, keep launching. Keep launching. It's not gonna work. You're gonna find yourself whittled down slowly. You're still on fire. He's still on fire. His navy is burning. My navy's okay. I brought more than enough boat for him to fight. Oh, dud. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Starting to overtake him now. Alright, little guys, concentrate on him. I know you can do it. He's got numerous secondaries. He's got little 1.1-inch guns, which are just fast firing. That's what's doing the damage, largely. He keeps laying smoke, thinking it's gonna help. However, his crew is slowly starting to get whittled down fighting fires. And we have launched torpedoes now into his formation. He's like, uh-oh, yeah, you gotta turn now. And when you turn, you lose speed. But if you don't turn, you get torps. He's realizing that, okay, I think he juked the first two. Second ship is now turning. And they're turning in, so I have a chance to close distance. Ah, man, that could have been beautiful. It was a dud. It's alright. Crapshoots. Now, you may be asking, why do I want to keep closing distance? Surely you don't think you're going to suddenly penetrate the enemy. I don't, actually. What I think is my ship is the last torpedo. We are launching torps at them as they run. And he's continuing to get pelted with lots and lots of little munitions. He's lost about 70 dudes off a crew of 341. And that's pretty bad. It's all from fire. The damage done to these ships right now is more or less superficial. It's superficial damage, but it will tie them up in port. Meaning his navy will not be doing well for a long, long time. He is sinking ships, but that's okay. I have plenty. Alright, let's go abreast, and let's go tight. I'm going to make this harder for him. Every other ship is going to turn right or left, alternatively. He's going to go Y. I'm going to say because. And notice how they're all spreading out. That's nice. Now, this may seem insane. That's okay. And another train. Now, I've split these ships up in a bid to help corral the enemy a bit. Because he's realizing I'm now fighting a giant navy that is going to surround me. And is going to go bonkers doing so. I'm going to have a few of these ships over here that have not yet gotten a chance to do anything get involved in this shit. Some of these boats are entirely fresh. Torpedoes, crews, the lot. He's like, why has this occurred? Well, there's this whole thing of naval strategy in a book and stuff, and I didn't read it. I just wanted to keep attacking. So, we're going to now shoot a lot of torpedoes through this formation. He is burning off all of his energy, just constantly turning around. He's going to find that this gets really annoying really fast. Oh wow, he got a torpedo hit. That's amazing. He's like, please leave. And I'm like, no. Alright, now I'm gonna form them into two big formations and then run them at the enemy, because now he's coming back at me. He has no choice. Excellent. Remove from the enemy their choices, and then watch them cry. They will go, "You are a monster. You're a mad dog. You have attacked and destroyed," blah, blah. And what you do then is you just keep attacking, because fuck them. Yeah, here come my guys from another direction. They're like, why? Why has this occurred? And I'm like, because it has. War doesn't need to make sense. People try to make sense out of war every day. Alright, so now he has to fight an ocean of junk that's broken up into every which angle, doing every which thing it can to be absolutely bonkers. And that's okay. You're going to be so supremely annoying at the enemy. He's gonna say, "What in the fuck?" And I'll say, "Don't worry about it." He keeps trying to turn to leave. It's like, do I attack? Do I leave? I'm like, I don't know. What do you do? If you look at his maneuvering through this battle, yep, alright. It's just like he's trying to disengage badly. That's fine. I lost 1,000 dudes. He lost 3,500. But look at the victory points. Near double, with just torpedo boats being thrown away. And had I decided to charge in and just get maximum casualties, could have done that and disengaged, but I didn't. I wanted to chase down and beat up enough of his fleet to where he had no more fleet projection power. That means no heavy cruisers, no battleships. He has a pair of light cruisers left in that flotilla, and they are damaged. They have to go back to the shipyard. They have to get more crew. I'm going to say fight to the end. I am not going to let him get out of here. I'm going to hit auto-resolve on that just so it blows him up. And there we go. So he's losing guys like crazy. Eastern China has just come back on the menu, boys. Eastern China has just come back on the menu. Now, my guys are all getting refit, and that's fine. But I'm going to try to take it as much as I can, with as much as I can. I know a lot of my boats are under refit, and that's fine. That is more than fine, but I'm going to try to take it regardless. Looks like my chance to succeed is 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my battleship squadron, and it says it's going to take 7 turns, but they're going to try to get over there before the invasion ends. I have a Spanish fleet down here hanging out, which is not that useful, but I'm going to give up on my attempt. I'm going to give up on my attempt to control the Spanish fleet, okay? For the moment. Because he damaged enough of my fleet to where I now have a 0% chance of taking Spain. That's okay. I can force him to the table. I have enough ships in his backyard to cause enough of his navy to sink, but I see greater prizes in the Far East. So I'm going to go make a play for those. Part of this game is just balancing things out, but I have beat Spain up enough and kept them in a war long enough for me to refit my navy, which was the prime objective. Keep your shit running. Spanish Empire is fire. Yep, okay, that's fine. Yep, sink. No? Alright. Oh, yes. Let's sink the rest of this navy. I'll force him to the surrender table, even though I'm not going to take his territory. That was marginal anyways. They gave us a 1 in 3 chance at it, and it probably wasn't going to go my way, but that is okay. By crippling his navy, I remove him as a party from Europe, at least for 10 or 15 years, and I might collapse enough of his government for him not to be a problem. Part of this is balancing the needs of the moment and seeing where things go. So I see battleship, light cruisers, destroyers, and torpedo boats versus 34 torpedo boats. Well, boys, let's do it. Okay, these are worse. Wow. Yeah, these are not very good in the ocean. So we're just gonna not worry about it so much. These guys are out of fuel nearly, but it's okay. I'm gonna get comments on who designed these and how much did they have to drink and all this other stuff, and I'm gonna say that's mean. Because the answer is me. I haven't had a drink in a while. I'm just naturally this way. It's called autism. Don't worry about it. I also giggle when I fart in the shower. Not a perfect man here. So they have low fuel, they're not doing well. But if I can sink a battleship, I win. Ah, he has announced himself. Splendid. Oh, he's turning. He's turning and burning. That thing is fairly quick. Alright. So let's go take a look at what he's built here. Oh my sweet Jesus, look at that. That is an interesting design. It's a lot of gun. That is a capital ship without a doubt. He's starting to sink my lead boy, but his other ships have plenty of fuel, so he may actually be able to fight, disengage, and leave. Which is not what I want to see. I'm just going to start launching torps in his general direction. I'm going to hope I can do something. I know my chances of sinking his navy are declining because it looks like they got plenty of juice, and that guy can move at 15 knots, and he has full fuel. But I did just hit one of his torpedo boats, which is ideal here. However, he has really good gunnery and cruise, so... Looks like I already hit him with one dud torpedo, and I'm ramming one of my other boats, which is complicating things. Guys, come on. Quit doing that. That's bad for you. It's bad for the paint. It's coming out of your money. Because these boats don't cost anything, so I need to recoup my expenses of the boats that don't cost anything. We've used a lot of coal today, so... I'm sorry. I'm going to pass this on to the families. It'll be like, your son died on one of my crap boats. But, as a result of that, I'm going to have to charge you all the coal he just lost in the water. That is a lot of coal, and we need it. Now, his destroyer, holy crap, is that thing moving. That's a fast boy. Oh, Lord, he coming. Yeah, that's an actual destroyer. I may have to design some myself. Man, that thing is drifting. Holy crap, is that fast. 35 knots almost. Alright, eyes on the prize, boys. Eyes on the prize. Everything on that battleship. That destroyer is a fierce one, to be sure. But holy crap, can he haul. And it's got armor, which is cheating. What's next? Life preservers? Alright, we are starting to get hits, but not on purpose. Looks like we were trying to hit his battleship, and we actually plastered his cruiser, which is hilarious. Alright, so let's keep swinging, boys. Let's keep swinging. That battleship has a lot of firepower, but he's about to lose a cruiser. That's good enough for me. I ain't seen his destroyer. I think it's just fucked off. Or it sank so suddenly I didn't see where. We have gotten lucky. We've gotten a few torpedoes. Nope, it did not fuck off. Both my torpedoes just exploded as well. Here comes the Segura back. It is moving. And it is an 833-ton destroyer, so that's a fairly modern destroyer by this time standard. This is a lot of firepower. I feel a little alarmed. Okay, torp, torp, torp. I see one about to hit him. Yes, that is good. Go down at the bow. Go to the ocean. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Oh, he's sinking now. He's sinking about it. He's like, uh-oh. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, uh-oh. He's still in the fight, which do credit to him. That is good damage control. Multiple torpedoes and not sink. That's an older battleship as well. Alright, this destroyer is continuing to launch torps, but it has no more. I'm gonna tell my guys to just keep shooting torps into that battleship. He's still fighting and maneuvering. He is not going down easy. And a lot of his crew is indeed very tough and very fighty. I'm hoping one of these does the trick. That's a dud. That would have done the trick, but it did not. It would have, but it didn't. That's what we like to call an almost. Meanwhile, he is swinging for the fences, and this destroyer is cruising around pretty much impervious, because it's got speed and range and guns and armor and all those things that, you know, boats have that are competently designed. Meanwhile, I'm just lobbing dirt at this guy with my antiques. Yeah, a little bump for there. Oh, he is really good. That crew is very lethal. And I like his design. I think that's a cool design. My guy's probably not shooting torps because he's saying, you know, I might hit my own guys, which is a fair assessment. Oh, more torps going in. More torps going in. Come on, give me one. Yeah. Add more frames to the Floodfest. If I can take out some of these engine spaces, the rest of him is on fire. If I can take out some of these engine spaces, he is gonna be fucked. He will not be able to maintain float. Yep, there we go. That should send him to the bottom. He's starting to lose that critical level of buoyancy there. He's like, uh-oh. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I didn't want to sink today. And I'm like, I know. But I can force him to the surrender table, and then I can concentrate my forces on trying to take China. Again, one of my guys is just ramming him, which is going to... Yep, he is going to sink himself, but also the enemy. My guy's burning down, but he's going to take him with him. That is a lot of damage. Alright, he's done. Victory. 165 losses versus 1,600. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to smash him and get him to the surrender table. I'm going to make him bend the knee. That is my objective. I know I will not win here. I know I won't. But that's okay. Long term, I don't think Austria-Hungary is going to do all right in this. But short term, I'm going to have a hell of a time at sea. And that is what I need to do. Yeah. I said yes, we will go to Eastern China. My navy's already on the way. He has now got very little left of a navy, and I'm going to continue to be incredibly belligerent toward him with my torpedo boats. And while these things are imperfect in every which possible way, they are going to cause as much trouble as possible. And he can no longer, it seems, field a navy. Most of his large capital ships are completely gone. And it looks like that a lot of my guys will soon be more than ready to launch in to the big old dumb fleet. The Grand Fleet of Dumb. Yep. We're gonna have a big old pile of boats. If I can take Eastern China, this will give me the income I need to actually maintain my navy in peacetime. If I can't, I will have to try to figure out how to save money. But Spain is not doing so well, and it is likely they will surrender soon or collapse because they have virtually no navy left, and I could continue to keep lobbing garbage at him. The Heller class is more than successful in what it intended to be, which is a nuisance on a strategic scale. Yep, they just lost their guy. I'm going to auto-fight this. There we go. So he's having a bad time. I am not going to win this naval invasion, but he is not going to win anything else. And the torpedo boats are going to continue to be an absolute heinous nuisance. It says that I can do this invasion in China, but it's not letting me do it. So that is odd to say the least. Unless I keep clicking on the wrong thing, which, believe me, I can. There are times where I do stupid stuff all the time. And I go, wait, didn't I click that? No, I didn't. And that's okay. You can be dumb in games. You don't have to be good at them. And mistakes and accidents happen. So in this case, I'm going to use that as kind of a measure of bureaucratic incompetence that is inherent in naval operations. So I'll just use that as an additional layer to the game, even if unintentional. Modest forgetfulness being what it is. Sending my navy over. I'm going to send my navy over, and I'm going to pile it up in Eastern China, and I'm just going to try to take it. As soon as they let me start landing troops, I'm going to do what I can to quote-unquote restore order, and then Austria-Hungary will have an empire in Eastern Asia with deep-water ports, which is a good thing. I'm hoping to have a lot. I will be a happy boy. I will clap my hands. I'll be like, hooray! Meanwhile, it appears Britain is clashing with Japan, but it appears to be very limited. Battleship v. battleship, destroyer v. destroyer, but it's one-on-one, like a duel. Yep, the Italian Empire has been warned. Yep, okay. Yep, let's sink more of his boats. Yeah, I'm gonna auto-resolve this because that sank more of his boats than mine, and that's good enough. He is losing his ass. We have conquered Kazakhstan at extreme loss, so go Austro-Hungary. Good job, us. This guy's navy is really not in good shape. He may try to stop me here because I have little smatterings of torpedo boats. A lot of them have moved off to repair, which is certainly very believable. I'm going to do my best to try to get them back in operation as quickly as possible, but I know that a lot of them have essentially probably poured into shipyards locally and have just become a navigational hazard. Let's move what's left of the cruiser fleet into a grand fleet here. And I know it's not really a grand fleet, but that's okay. That's what I'm going to call it. That's what it's going to be called on the postage stamps. Let's go into politics, and let's see who is mad at me. Japan is mad at me again because I'm beating up China, and they're going, that's my job, and I'm going, get over it. Like, get over yourself. Don't try to say that you own the patent on beating people up. That's not nice. I'm going to get rid of the Heller design. The ersatz is good enough. My torpedo boats are being repaired, which means I should be able to continue bludgeoning them. Yep, we need to sink this fleet. That is how this battle must go. Alright, we need to sink that heavy cruiser. That is the only way around this. That heavy cruiser needs to go. If we can sink the heavy cruiser, we win. Easier said than done, as these things don't have the range to do doodle shit, so... as soon as we can find these heavy cruisers and get them, we'll be good. Now, these guys are extremely crippled on range. It's not going to work well. But think about it this way. This is the best way to retire old boats. Let them go out in a blaze of glory. Well, more like a blaze of picric acid, but you know what I mean. Alright, here we are. There's his boat, one of them. Looks like he's got, of course, full fuel. Which is fine. He's going to hide behind the smonk, which means I can get a little closer. He built modern ships. That was a mistake. He can sink this whole navy and I won't care. Oh man, looks like one of my torps had a gyro failure. They just crossed in the middle. Now, he's got actual speed on these, so he might be able to beat this fleet no problem. That's fine. I'm going to keep launching torps into this navy. Some of these are going to go way off the mark, but he's probably going to try as best he can to stay away from me. Unless he fucks up. Now he's on fire. That is not where you want to be. And this is a heavy cruiser with 500 dudes on it. There might be 500 dudes in my whole navy. At least this flotilla. So I take out one dude and I win. This is a substantial part of his strategic power at the moment. See, I'm going to keep setting fires and keep burning his crew. Meanwhile, their destroyers are really cool. Why is he letting me get close? That's a mistake. Why are they launching torps at my patrol boats? That's a mistake. Yeah, see, all I have to do is get one good hit on them, and it's over. Alright, time to use the torpedo. Alright, he's getting in close to launch torps with authority. But he's losing his destroyer for this. Now that's a cool explosion. Imagine that letter home. Your son died in a badass explosion. It was fucking metal. Fire went to the heavens, and it was just like whoosh. And they all turned to skeletons. It was metal. It was metal as fuck. Like, everyone clapped. It was really cool. They're gonna be like, oh my god, my son was awesome. I was like, dude, he was the coolest fucking dude. He exploded, and he did like the devil horns as he went up. What a cool guy. Yeah, keep shooting torps at me. I don't care. My boats are very cheap. In fact, I'm willing to bet that that torpedo cost more than that boat. He's like, please, no. Yes. Oh man, he's got all the light little guns. 1.1 inch guns just blazing away. Lots of little hits. However, funnel fire. He is successfully staying away from my navy. For the moment, that is. Now, could I lose more of these boys? Yes. However, he launched torps before he died. Now, I'm willing to bet this guy can juke them. He has enough speed. He has more than enough maneuverability. But that's okay. Because I got crazy. Crazy pays dividends. He's like, why? More torps. More torps. Concentrate fire on that guy. Let's hit him with those little deck guns and burn him down. I'm gonna try to blind him. He doesn't want to come close enough, that's fine. He keeps turning around. Oh, there's one torp that's running really long. Now, that's not going to hit him unless he suddenly accelerates, which isn't going to happen. But any hope he has of cohesion is pretty much gone. Now, my ships keep pitching around like crazy. And I'm just going to keep launching torps at them. Sooner or later, one of these may hit, and they have long enough runs that they might succeed. As you can see, my navy is just chucking them out. Some are going very wide, some are very narrow launched, some are way off target, but that's okay. Looks like he is fairly content to just try to stay away from me. Come in here and brawl like a man, sir. He's like, I really don't want to. This seems very foolish. Oh man, he has really good gunnery crews. He may sink the flotilla. But not without scars. He's like, I don't like this. And I'm like, indeed not. I'm gonna continue just bludgeoning him with these little guns. Occasionally we are getting hits on stuff. His destroyers are not fireproof. And I'm driving them between two battle lines here. Though at extreme cost, shall we say. Alright, we're just gonna have to be aggressive with torp launches. And hope for the best. We got multiple launches going out. Which, not perfect, but I'm starting to get decent hits on that light cruiser. And that destroyer has taken some significant damage. So while he did have some initial early happy moments, he will find that he does not leave this battle without scars. And more of it... Oh, he's having to turn hard to avoid a bunch of torpedoes. Which will turn him into my second boat over here. All I need to do is beat these things up to make them go home. He's got a bad fire on board. Be a shame if more fire happened. Now, he has more and more torps going out there, which is hilarious. His other ships are breaking off, though that destroyer is crippled. Its rudder is absolutely fucked. I'm just gonna keep starting fires. That is my goal. Keep starting fires. Keep starting fires. Keep starting fires. Here we go. Welcome to the mine you didn't know existed. He's like, why? That ram could have gone a little better. He has pretty decent anti-flooding measures, but enough structural damage again was done that he's going to have to send these back to port. This buys me time. Well, that's one way to turn a boat. He is now having to fight me at point-blank range. I will continue to annoy him with these antiques. All I need to do right now is force him to the surrender table. Yep, he's having to keep cutting his rudder to avoid torpedoes coming in. Flood of torpedoes, my beloved. The more I can hit him, the more I can beat his ships up, the more happy I am, because these ships, again, cost nothing. There goes a near miss. Let's see if we can't sink this destroyer. This destroyer has as much crew as like 6 of my torpedo boats. Ah, some of those long-running torps just detonated. Damn. Alright, come on, boys. Keep hurting them. You may be absolutely positively antiques, but you are deadly antiques. He's like, why? Why am I under attack by Victorian boats? Because it's funny. I think we torpedoed ourselves. That does happen on occasion. Alright, let's get them, boys. Oh, please ram that boat. Please. I beg of you. He seems to have had some flooding open up. Uh-huh. He's like, this is not going well. Yes. Yes, indeed not. Ram him. Oh, most bad. You were doing so well today. Oh, look at my boat showing up on his damage monitor. He's like, I used to be floating, but now I'm an example. Or if you can't serve as an example of how to be a fancy boat, you can always serve as an example of a navigational hazard. Alright, battle line, battle line, battle line. There we go, boys. Let's do our best, keep causing casualties. If we can damage that destroyer, I will consider this a victory. The game might as well. What a dumb battle. Is he gonna ram my guy? Is he mad? He seems upset. He also seems very low on ammo. Seems like he's going for the kill on all my sad boats remaining, and that's understandable. I have more than enough ammunition to share with him as we go down. Oh, that was a good hit. The destroyer may sink. Oh no. He's got a cruiser left, and it does have some significant damage. Yeah, he's trying to sink it, but it was barely seaworthy when we began today. Okay, so looks like I got a boat left, so I'm just going to end battle and let that be. But yeah, he lost more guys. Technically in defeat, but he has almost nothing left. Oh man, what a fuck up. But hilarious. Alright. Italian Empire liked that. Which is fine. I'm gonna ask Spain if they want to surrender. Because if not, I'll have to get really nasty. But they have 7 ships left. 2 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, and 1 destroyer. That's it. That is their whole navy. That's the whole thing. Now, if they're not gonna prompt me with the Chinese invasion because I don't have enough tonnage or whatever, I'll once again circumnavigate this crap cruiser fleet and go over there and just start beating them up again. Yet again, I will do that. And they will just be like, why? Looks like they attempted... Alright, I'm just gonna auto-result. Wow, I sunk, but heavy damage, which is good. Uh-huh, yeah. I'm saying I'm down. Oh, that little island? Okay. I will send the massive chunk of the torpedo boats and stuff to take that guy. Looks like I just don't have enough tonnage over here, which is fine. I can send 13 cruisers to go beat the crap out of the Spanish Navy. And what do we got here? These guys? No, you're going to go to Cattaro. I'm going to finally retire my torpedo boats because I feel it's time. I'm going to send the battleships over to China. I'm just going to slowly rotate my fleet around trying to maintain a international presence, which is easier said than done with extremely limited means. But so far, we've made very wide Austria-Hungary. They've gone to war and have added Kazakhstan and a bunch of other stuff, so I'm going to just go ahead and say great success there. It's not so bad. Yep. Japan has continued to be belligerent, which is not good because I don't want to have to fight them. I'm going to try to make the United States my pal. And let's go ahead and build larger shipyards while I'm waiting, because I can't afford not to at this point. I need to build an austerity fleet of cruisers, I feel. Where are these guys? Adriatic and the Ionian Sea? Alright, let's get into our fleet and see what's left of the Heller. Let's see. Tons. Alright, you are at Pula, and they just put you together again. You're getting repaired. No. Alright, the rest are in Southeast Asia, except for a handful in Europe, which need to go. They're not that great anymore, that is. They just don't have the range, so I can't really get them at the enemy, which is a problem with boats. You need the boats to be able to get at the enemy and to do damage to them, and they don't have the range. Otherwise, these battles would be going a bit more decisively in my favor. That's okay. I'll just get rid of the ones I have in port. I have a lot of boat, which is good. Let's see. We're slowly starting to get into better tech, so let's do rangefinders and let's do control stations. And yeah, we're going to try to get into much better rangefinders. Alright, so Italy said they would fight on our side. What do they want? They want all of my money. No. Britain thinks we're cool. That's neat. Japan is trying to be a dick, which is just don't. Let's see. Let's see if Spain will accept a peace treaty, because they have almost nothing left. If not, I regret to say that I will then have to destroy Spain completely. And that's okay. That just is going to be very bad for them. And we're going to start to get to much longer torpedo ranges, which is going to be bad, bad, bad for them. The cruiser mob is going over, and I'm going to conquer this little island over here, which is not a lot, but it's enough. And then once the battleships are over here, I'll probably be able to start swinging at some of these Chinese territories. Possibly. I'm hoping to replace the losses of of many other things. But I think it's amazing that this very basic, barely seaworthy torpedo boats managed to last so long. I think that is amazing. Had they had longer range, I probably would have been able to keep them around, but they just don't. They run out of fuel. They cannot maintain speed. Japan is going through a massive refit right now. They're discarding a lot of designs from just a few years ago, which means they are massively up-teching this fleet of theirs. Oh, they're laying down a lot of ships. All right. Let's see. I'm going to send the rest of my guys to the European Theater of Operations because Spain is trying to come back from it. And nope, we're not going to play that game. It is 1916. We are getting rising unrest because of losses. So we're going to need to design something that I can use in the interim until I design a new futures turbo battleship, which is going to be necessary. Let's see, fast armored cruiser, semi-armored cruiser, let's see, large torpedo boat, heavy torpedo cruiser, belted cruiser, light cruiser 4. That seems like almost a winner. Look at that guy. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Now, what about armored cruiser 4? That looks like a micro dreadnought. I will call you the Tylenol class because you're going to be the solution to my headache. I'm going to make you 21 knot speed, and I'm going to run you on coal like everything else. Geared turbines, auxiliary engine backups, so you can actually do some things. We're going to put you with a lot of protective measures on board because, yes... And depth charges, in case we run into these newfangled things called submarines, which other navies are spending lots of money on. Wow, how much taller can I make that boat? Don't ask, because the answer is yes. Navies at this point did not know what they were doing. Please don't look at pagoda masts. You'll start to get very upset. I think 10-inch guns fore and aft are pretty baller for a cruiser. Yeah, I'm just going to make this into a micro dreadnought. And then I think 5-inch secondaries are where the money is. I could probably bring these closer together. Let's say right about there. And then I can bring you right about there. Excellent. Look, they kiss right in the middle. 4-weight offset is a little too much. Let's knock this back a bit. And right there. Okay, 4-weight offset. Let's move this a little bit more aft. There we go. Good enough. The pitch is excessive, but 5-inch guns. Yeah, that's a boat. That is a boat. All right, let's do picric acid 2, which is a little bit more stable. Actually, you know what? Let's just use dunite. We're going to get into some better stuff. We're just going to start being a nasty navy. We're going to be a nasty, growed-up navy now. All right. Is this a great ship? No. Will it do? Yes. All right. Let's do 4-inch main belt, 3-inch fore and aft, and 3-inch main deck. Citadel armor as thick as we can. 2-inch fore and aft deck, and then an 8-inch conning tower so we don't lose too many officers. You don't want to lose too many officers, so you need that conning tower thick enough to be a problem. Let's do a 5-inch main belt right on the money. This thing is not a great ship, but it's good enough. The Tylenol class, begin. Micro dreadnoughts, more or less. That's a lot of firepower for a cruiser. Most U.S. cruisers in World War II had only 8-inch guns. This is a little bit bigger. This is a little bit nastier. This is a little bit crazier. Tylenol class. Yeah? Yeah, I'm going to build 10 of them. All right, 13 months. 13 months. I'm going to build these in Pula, in Croatia, because that will be enough. Now, it's going to cost a lot more. Okay, so remember when I said I was going to build 10? Let's do what normal navies do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Scrap 5. Half the order. Alright, that's survivable. Now, all I have to do is send these guys in to continue to be excessively belligerent and force Spain to the table. Now, I know Spain has really nothing left to offer. I'm not going to be able to invade them. That's okay. My main goal is just to drive them into the dirt, and I need to restore some naval power to this, so hence the shuffling. My torpedo boats whittled their navy into non-existence. The ships that are left are either, 1, new and modern and sexy as hell, like those destroyers, or they are very, very old. And that's fine, because the head of their admiralty just got fired again, so they're not having a good time. Now let's get into our finances. We're still maintaining positive building on things. Our crew training is essentially showing pictures of more successful navies. We're just showing them pictures and being like, this is what a navy looks like when it's not underwater. And they go, oh, that's very nice. All right, so we're going to get this Whittle Island here. And it looks like Japan is going to try to take China, which that's the only reason I could think of their navy being there in Hangzhou. It still says I'm behind on technology, and that's fine. Yes, I will sign a peace treaty because that will free me to then declare war on Japan. Or someone else, like Italy, because I'm pretty sure I could give the Regia Marina a good boot. I've decided in my playthrough after this, I'm going to play as Imperial Russia and see how long I can keep the Tsar relevant. I think that will be a fun playthrough, so win, lose, or draw, we'll see what happens. Now we're getting to a point where unrest is starting to go up because the wars are expensive and they're not exactly going in my favor, which is understandable because I have been a nincompoop. So we're going to do my best. And I'm still not going to get rid of the boat class of the Habsburg, the jewel of my fleet, my beloved. I'm also going to keep my micro dreadnoughts. I'm going to do the best I can to stay where I can. Those torpedo boats have paid for themselves. They are not the best in the world, but they have attritionally ripped other navies to shreds, even though they had no right to do so, because torpedo technology is incredibly, incredibly effective to invest in. It is a great return on investment. It looks like we're about to have a meeting naval engagement, which means that these idiots may be trying to fight what's left of my torpedo boats, or they may actually be running into my navy, which is, I wouldn't do that. However, they just signed a peace, and they gave me $100 million. And I'm going to, yeah, there we go. Some money to social programs and some to the Navy. There, we have controlled Penghu. Now I'm going to set my Navy over here, and I'm going to go into my politics, and I'm going to absolutely increase tension with Japan. Because right now, as you can see, my monthly balance is absolutely heinous without war funding. I need that war funding. I need it. I also need to I need to take these boats over here and get rid of the rest of the hellers because they are very bad, and we both know it. They are not going to hold up well. So I'm going to put all of them in Odessa, and I'm going to scrap them, and then I'm going to upgrade again the Grandpa fleet. I'm going to upgrade boat for 1916. Some of you are going to be screaming and going, why? Get rid of them. One more battleship plus 4 unrest, but that's a lot of money. Yep. Okay, Japan is starting to get mad. Ungoverned territory. Which one? Yep, there we go. Conquest. This doesn't need a lot of tonnage, but I do have a lot of battleships here, so let's go ahead and move them right in. What else are we going to do? Oh yeah, fleet. Now I'm going to take my little, it says... yes, now I can build the rest of these. I will build 15 more now that the government gave me a lot more money. And they were like, you don't seem to have the Navy you used to. And I'm like, yes, very poor. Incredibly poor, thank you. And they're going to give me that money. I just need to force a war with Japan in order to continue to pay for it. It says my technology is behind, but I think they're counting the age of my torpedo boats and other naval matters against me, and that's fine. German Empire and Italian Empire provoking me. That's okay, too. I'm going to go to Japan, and I'm going to increase tension, and this should hopefully spiral me off into a war. Now let's look at our chances of conquest here. 24% chance, not great. Slightly less than 1 in 4. Not great at all. Quality control, less ship flaws, hooray! France is doing a lot of conquest. Japan is not caring. They will. Let's see, who else needs a bullying? Because I'm like sizing people up and being like, I could take you. And they're just shaking their heads like, no. I'm going to increase tension with the Soviet Union. Because we've already taken big chunks of territory out of their stuff. I mean, we own Kazakhstan, and looks like we also own Uzbekistan. Turkmenistan and Kyrgyzstan are in the Soviet Union, so that's amazing. Alright, I need to move you guys into Odessa, please. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. I'm going to move all you guys into Odessa, and we're going to move you in there. And as soon as they're all in there, I can begin my refit of them, and I can build more modern cruisers. I have semi-modern micro-dreadnoughts that are technically already vastly obsolete. They're Gen 1 dreadnoughts. Looks like the Italian Empire is going after Uganda. I hope I can take China. I hope that can serve as a base for Austro-Hungary and stuff. I'm liking the idea of Hunan goulash. I think that's a really cool idea. Sweet and sour paprika pork, you know? Looks like the Soviet Union did get a little peeved off at me, even though their admiral tried to strengthen ties. My guys just went around. I'm going to hope to get Japan pissed at me. That will buy me time. Okay, let's go into our fleet, and let's see. All of the old boat. Let's see. Yeah, boat class. Quite good. Quite good. Alright, let's get them all in port. Let's get them all in port as best we can, and I can scrap the Heller. And as soon as I do that, I should have a little bit more funds. Not a lot, though. Alright. Oh, they're threatening us? Oh, man, that's terrible. War. Excellent. Excellent, 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 excellent. Yes, good. Thank you. So, now I have a little bit more time. They've given me more funding. Now, we have to go into our fleet here. And we need to get rid of all the Heller class because it has reached the end of its service life despite multiple refits. And they just get to the point where they are more rust than boat. So I scrapped all those, and look, budget freed, naval funds up. Now, I have all these boats here that are in Odessa. I need to take all these boats, and I need to say, you know what? Don't do anything. Because you're expensive, so we're going to sit you all in here, and we're going to say, no, you're going to defend. Please don't go anywhere. Please don't go to the shops or the stores. Don't even look at the engines. They're expensive. Don't do that. Just don't do it. Don't think about it. Just there. Now look, that saved a lot of money, and that's exactly what we need to save. Looks like we have 2 more turns before we find out if we control this. Now, I don't see the Japanese fleet. I see that's 2 battleships. Alright, so I have an idea. We're going to try to take Matsuyama and Okinawa from them. Smaller territories, but probably within my means to do with this battleship fleet over here. I'm going to do nothing until they force me to, because Japan and France are clashing in Southeast Asia right now. They are clashing constantly over control of this stuff. So that's hilarious. Colombia just found oil. That's my territory. Looks like the Soviet Union is slowly trying to mobilize against us, which means we need to absolutely revisit the boat class and do our best here and come up with a refit plan to slowly refit these fuckers. It says these are obsolete. How dare you? That is cruel and mean. And some of these parts are now considered to be badly placed, and that's okay because technology changed. So now they have geared turbines, and we have fancier armor on them. And we're going to move into dunite and much fancier shells. We're going to give them hydrophones, which is, they don't deserve them, but that's okay. And then we're going to go into main guns, and we're going to go into side guns, and I'm going to see about upping these back to 7-inch guns, which is pretty good. In the secondaries, I'm going to make numerous of these little 3-inch guns. Yeah, not great, but certainly good enough. Certainly good enough to annoy the enemy. Now, it says that I have 75 tons of armor to play with, so I can make the main belt slightly thicker, and I can make the 4.5 belt slightly thicker. Oh my god, is this working? No. Alright, yes it is. Alright, refit time 3 months. It gets another life. Some people are gonna start screaming. They're going to say text no, and I'm gonna say yes. Yes, indeed. I know that having a unified battery would make this a lot more sensical as a boat. I don't care. It's going to live on. Now, let's go through and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to update 6 of them at a time and see if we can afford that. And probably not. But we'll get there. Please let me take China. Please let me take China. Please. We failed to gain control of China. Well, I guess it's Okinawa then. Guys, you embarrassed me for the last time. Let's go for Okinawa. They're gonna be like, oh god. And I'll be like, yep, Okinawa's mine. Looks like my guys just couldn't do it. The Austro-Hungarian army is depleted after its long march east. Looks like America may decide to enter the war against us, which is not good. I'm going to try to make everyone in Europe like me as much as possible. So when America does that, it just becomes this giant clusterfuck. Now, let's go ahead and try to take this from Japan. I've got my guys here. The Japanese Navy is nowhere to be seen. They are running around, and it looks like these guys are trying to get into the Atlantic for various reasons, and that's up to them. That's none of my business. That is frankly none of my business. I'm going to say, okay, I've got 6 ships in refit, and as soon as they come out of refit, I am probably going to have to desperately make austerity measures, because I have 20 ships running under the dockyard trying to be finished as quickly as possible. This is not a balanced fleet, and this is not a balanced approach to building a fleet, but it is funny, and that is really what's critical at this point. Germany looks like they're finishing Spain off, as well as Britain. So they're both finishing what I started, which I don't get mad at. I know sometimes it's annoying when the AI finishes a war that you can't seem to bring to a decisive end, but that just happens. The problem is you can lock yourself into a war that you cannot end under any circumstances. You'll find yourself nose on target, grinding away, and you'll lose everything to barely win a war. If it's not within your means, just take the peace, move on to the next challenge, move on to the next thing. Don't die for it. Don't lose your empire for it. One more mile is not always a good choice. Oh, the Red Cross is I don't negotiate with the enemy. No, I don't do that. I don't do that at all. Alright, so we have, German Empire is strengthening our relations. Excellent. Excellent. Looks like they're having themselves a crazy rebellion in China, which is none of my business. And I'm going to invade Okinawa. Because I can, and it will be very, very funny. Austro-Hungary and Okinawa is going to be a thing. Now, it looks like in 2 months, the first of the boat will be ready, and then in 3 months, the first 5 of the Tylenol class will be ready. All I have to do is hold on till then. But I'm going to save that for another episode. So, February 1917. What a world.
Some folks are born, made to wave the flag. Ooh, the red, white, and green. And when the band plays Kaiser hymn, ooh, they draft you for the war machine. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't Prince Ferdinand's son. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no aristocratic one, no. Some folks are born with 6 fingers on their hand. Lord, don't they bang their cousins, man. But when their army parades across the land, Lord, it sounds like the yards of Babel, yeah. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no Habsburg son, no. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no Kaiserin son, no. Oh, sorry, I don't speak German. I don't understand. Oh, that's Hungarian? No. Some folks inherit medieval powers here. Ooh, they send you down to war, Lord. And when you ask them, hey, what was that you said? Ooh, they only answer, Vilmer, man. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no Hungarian son, Lord. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't Prince Ferdinand's son, Lord. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no Kaiser's son,